Welcome back, amazing human being, to another clip of Maxlifescience. Today we're going to talk about the flower of life, a very mystical, I would call, energy field or a pattern that arises in nature. It's very cool, very cool. We will look at the how it comes to life in nature. And we will look at the magnetical properties, and we will also go into the math and our ancient culture and see both how our ancient culture is talking about it, but also the math, how it's talking about it. So we got a lot of dive into here. But first, I think we need some atmosphere noise, right? Some of these. We gotta have a campfire. Some shore noise, right? Some forest wind. Gotta have the birds. It's too low with the birds. I think it's pretty good, right? I think this is nice. This is nice. Okay, so let's dive into it. The flower of life. What is it? And well, and how does it come alive? So this, you've probably seen this pattern. It's quite famous, I would say. Many hippies go around with it. So what have the hippies found? So, in nature we have this pattern that sort of arises, both in flowers, we're going to see it in pine cones, we're going to see it in different places. People talk that this is the way that the flower is optimizing as well, to put these, what you have these is called, as further away from its neighbor, sort of, but also optimizes its ground. But yeah, sure. We talk about a lot of golden ratio and Fibonacci things around it. But what I more want to sort of do is to sort of go up a notch, right? Step up and look at the whole picture and see this sort of field emerges. To me, it's more of a question than that. Is this a sort of a field that is, because I'm thinking cause and effect, right? It's something in nature pushing like this all the time. It's sort of like, is it like the sort of the wind of the universe? You understand what I mean? And what the flower and what life does, maybe in general, but what the flowers does is more put up a sail, right? Sailing on this wind. It's pushing forward, making us grow, right? Gaining energy from it. What now? Energy in terms of life as emotions, maybe stable emotions, stable consciousness. What could it be, right? I think it's really interesting, the spiral sort of pattern. It emerges in many different places. We will talk about the sort of phenomenon of spiral as well later, but I think this flower, especially when it arises in nature like this, so many different forms of nature sort of taking this form. Yeah. So maybe this is like sort of a sail, more right? Like a force field of some sort. And I think the interesting part is that our ancient culture, we left a lot of important work behind. Sort of, we carved this into well, buildings like this, right? Some of the most special places, I would assume, to these people that have actually built these. And they put a lot of effort, like they really wanted to talk about this, and that they have sort of understood a meaning which they really want to elaborate and talk about. Because it comes up in many different cultures in all over the world, both in China, I mean everywhere it comes up. It feels like it's something very important that they want to talk about. Put it in the dearest of places as well. Homes. Also in Egypt, of course in Egypt as well. But I think it's pretty cool because we found it actually close to the pyramids. We found this place, and them excavated, and they also found that this is burnt into the pillars, which is, I think, is pretty cool. So this is sort of a, yeah, sort of burned in to this pillar, which, well, this is pretty cool, I think. As well, you find this different sort of boring holes into the stone. I mean, this is really hard even today. Both this precision, but also, I mean, it's so perfectly round and also so smoothly done, it feels like, right? So you sort of see this pulsing, it feels like. Yeah, pretty cool. So let's go into the magnetical fields and see what the magnets tells us about this pattern, if it rises there as well. So this is pretty cool. We're gonna look at some pictures and we're gonna look at some videos. This is a ferrocell. So what you do is you probably heard about, you probably heard about ferrofluid. So what you do is, it's this fluid that you get sort of spikes when you go close with a magnet. And what you do is you take two lenses and you put some ferrofluid, you put some baby oil, and then you put some, I think it's motor oil or something. And then you stick them together and you place this sort of light around it, and you will place a magnet, and you will see this a much better representation of the magnetical fields than when you have this medical or iron dust, what it's called, that you place around you. So this is pretty cool. You get this torus shape rising, especially this pattern which we are talking about, right? So I think this is really cool. You get this sort of torus shape arising. We're gonna talk more about the torus, not in this clip. It deserves just a clip alone, but it's pretty cool. Let's look at this as well. So he places this over a magnet and just holds this there, letting it do its thing. Yeah, pretty cool. Then he removes it. Huh? Let's look at this as well. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's look at another.
Good.
I think this is a different one, like a Luxon ferrocell or something. You should definitely look at all of these people on YouTube. Cool stuff. Let's look at the next.
Yep.
Fractal woman again. She's doing good stuff. Look at that flower. That's pretty cool. How do you feel? This one is cool as well. Brian Kerr. Heavy dude. Cool stuff, right? Yeah, so let's listen to this guy.
These bowl-shaped magnetic fields induce a magnetic field into each steel ball, which causes them to repel each other while at the same time keeping the balls structured together. So this mysterious force not only causes the steel balls to become packed tightly together, but it also keeps them apart. Then it does this while at the same time forming a geometrically balanced pattern, just as we find within atoms and molecules. Notice the vibration in all of the steel balls as each new ball is added to the nucleus area. What we see at work here is what I believe would truly be defined as the strong force.
I think this is interesting.
Then we will take a look at some incredible cutting-edge research from scientists at IBM. This is an atomic force microscope image of the actual structure within a nanographene molecule.
Well, let's look at this. This guy cool. We should look at him. So you have
Yeah.
clockwise and anti-clockwise. When you put them together in the same turn, clockwise, clockwise or anti-clockwise, you get this. But the interesting thing is when you have them opposite, right? So, clockwise and anti-clockwise. You put them together. So, did you see the shape? Pretty cool. So is it like a suction, right? Like it wants to be placed almost like a whistle, right? Get this place when it's actually a perfect balance, sort of. Yeah. Pretty cool. So is this, well, if this is, let's think like this, if this is part of the universe and this field arises and we see different places in nature, how it actually, nature itself uses this sort of force field, well, shouldn't it sort of arise in the medical world as well? And the interesting thing is when you do like this, when you take your numbers and then you take them into a spiral like this and present them, and then you mark the prime numbers, and then you can also take it away a step further and mark the numbers as well. But do you see something interesting happen here? Let's see if I can pause this. I think it's the next turn which I'm interested in. Do you see there? See there? And what is interesting is that, so we will look more at this. This is a very, I think this is very interesting phenomena that is happening in mathematics, and I have a program also that I want to show you. Unfortunately, it's not on this laptop, but I will show you in future clips. Otherwise, this is too long. But the interesting thing is that at certain frequencies, you see the prime numbers align at a different specific lines. I think that is pretty cool. And at this frequency, I think it's 24. Yeah, you get this alignment. And then the thing is pretty interesting that. Well, it has a lot of different properties, but I think the most interesting thing is how all the prime numbers you seem to be going at the same place. But if you go back as well, and if you sort of look at the center, right? You see that sort of the flower phenomena pattern arises. Especially when you come to like places like these. So if you stare at the middle, really cool. So this star, I think it's pretty interesting. You probably recognize the star, right? Prime number cross. Is it the Holy Grail? Well, and you can also mark the numbers. If you mark the numbers 174 and 528 and then 369 together, and you make them into different colors, you will see a very interesting pattern of arise. Sorry for that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, this sort of spiraling of the numbers, and you see different patterns of the numbers, especially when you mark the prime, how they align in different ways. So if we go back really far in time to what is called Anukai, Sumerian, we see this sort of things. And especially if you have looked at the previous clip on vibration, I think it's quite interesting that you have the moon and the sun here, but you have all of this symbol coming to life, right? And this seems to be very important. They seem to want to say something about this. And if you watch the previous clip on vibrations, yeah, you see this 5,201. You get this sort of similar, and this is talked about in different places as well. So are they referring to the sort of this prime cross? We have found some levels as well. A lot of things is scratched out here, but is it a level or frequency to go? Because they have a lot of symbolizing with the flower as well. It seems to be a very important thing for them, right? Also, this bag, I think is quite interesting with the bag, right? Rises in many different places. I think that's for another clip. But so the thing is that have nature sort of used this this flower of life, this whatever it is it an energy field? Is it the magnetical field, sort of the pulse of the universe, the flow of time? What is it? Is it something that also some species there on Earth have understood more, like using its energy to be able to grow in a more harmonious way with the universe, using it like a sail? And I think I want to start ending this video with this. This is pretty cool as well. If you haven't seen the Mandelbrot, I think you definitely should look into the Mandelbrot. It's a sort of, you can think it as a function based on itself, with a little bit of twist to it. So the interesting thing that occurs is you get all these different patterns, this really cool spiraling patterns. They say that some people say that this is sort of the fingerprint of the universe. It's a function of itself. What is the universe of itself, sort of? Yeah, you have this really cool patterns that arise. And this is sort of the flower of life pattern, right? At least symbolize, sort of. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about. How it wants to actually sort of describe itself with this sort of form pattern. I want to show you this as well. It's pretty cool. So if you take this, if you go into this link, we can also drag this a little bit. You will see this. I'm not going into too much detail what we're actually seeing here, because it deserves a lot of talk, but you see this spiraling behavior as well. Pretty cool. If you go to this one, you get 4 dots. You go here, you get 2 dots. You get 5 dots. Really cool. Yeah. So, are they trying to tell us something? Well, what is this? Should we think about it more? Are they trying to say us something? Is it more important that we actually think? And what is it? Flower of life. Hope you liked the clip. Hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to get this out for Easter, like an Easter clip. Yeah. Hope you're having a good Easter. Now it's spring, we're starting to come alive. Maybe you can think about this flower of life, gain some energy from it. I don't know. But hopefully you like this. Yeah. That was all from today, from Maxlifescience. Hope you're having a great day, guys. See you in the next clip.